Online foreclosure auction versus motivated seller sources. Online foreclosure auction versus motivated seller options or motivated seller sources. All right, so we're talking about online foreclosure auction versus motivated seller sources. What do I mean by this? By the way, we're talking about wholesaling real estate, which is basically the art and science of finding deeply discounted properties. It's a strategy you can use to make money from home with real estate from anywhere in the world. As long as you have an internet connection and you have a very decent laptop, you can absolutely engage in real estate wholesaling, precisely United States real estate, right? Now, with that being said, what are we talking about? What online auctions? What are we talking about here? Why are we talking about online auctions? Well, the idea is to find deeply discounted properties. That's the first step with wholesaling, right? So a lot of time people ask me questions. What about online foreclosure auctions? So there are websites like Hubzu, that's HUBZU.com. There are many websites where they are you see listed properties, right? That are foreclosed properties, and they're like auctioning these properties online, right? So can you just go straight to those websites and engage versus actually dealing with directly with a motivated seller who still own the property, right? They still own the property, but they own the property, but they want to sell it. They're in a distressed situation and they need to get rid of the property, right? So which one is better? Which one should you go with? Well, there are a couple of things that you need to pay attention to when it comes to foreclosure auctions, right? When it comes to foreclosure auctions, you are basically you will be obligated to buy the property, okay? Not only that, you have to put down a lot of time. You have to put down significant amount of money for each property, okay? So $1,500 is not unheard of. $1,000 deposit, non-refundable, okay? Unless it's absolutely something that they did wrong, they made a mistake on their part. But if you go through the auction, you win a bid and you send $1,000 in, you got $1,000 wired in, you're bidding on the property that for the most part you've never seen, because again, these are auctions. You should know that these are auctions and properties they're not going to show you the property. You're betting on the fact that the property is in good condition. Usually this kind of properties will have unwanted tenants in them that haven't paid, so you have to be willing to a lot of time take on eviction of an unwanted tenant, right? Or non-performing tenancy, right? So there are situations like that that you have to be aware of, and that's basically a major difference. Those are two differences, right? Those are two attributes that you won't deal with if you're dealing with motivated sellers, okay? With motivated sellers, you can usually see the property. If you want to, you can take a look at the property. You're talking to the direct homeowner who had been responsible for the property, so they're talking to you in person, right? So there's no need to worry about what's the condition of the property. You can literally inspect the property, right? Now, if you're a wholesaler and you have no intentions to actually buy, but you want to wholesale the property to someone else, a lot of times you can still trust the words of the homeowner in terms of what's the preliminary condition of the property when you're assessing it, like a preliminary assessment of the property. They can tell you, because they lived in the property, they'll tell you what the condition of the property is, right? But with online foreclosure auction, you're dealing with people that basically curate a bunch of properties they know nothing about, so you better know what the hell you're doing, right? That's in addition to the fact that you don't have to put so much money down. At most, when you're wholesaling the property, you can put down $100, and that's usually good to go, to lock the property under a contract, or a lot less, as low as $10. So you can literally have 10 deals on your table, contracts that you're ready to flip, and you've only spent $100, and that's all legal. Well, in order to do that with online foreclosure auction, you will basically have to put down $1,000 10 different ways. That's $10,000. Do you have that kind of money already? If you did, there's a good chance you would not be engaged in wholesaling, or maybe you're just experienced and you understand how wholesaling works. But anyway, I digress, right? But the point there is that there are two differences that you should pay attention to. With online foreclosure auction, you cannot see or inspect these properties. With dealing directly with a motivated seller, you can see and inspect this property, right? The other side of the deal is that you have to put down significantly much more bigger amount of earnest money deposit, EMD, for online foreclosure auction, and you're responsible and you lose that money if you back out, right? For dealing directly with motivated seller sources, you don't even have to put anything down. That can make your contract non-binding, but you don't have to. You can still end up wholesaling the property, making lots of money without putting anything down. But if you have to, you don't have to put down no more than $10, right? And if somebody's asking you for more than $10, there's a good chance they're not motivated for the business model of wholesaling. Okay, so it's very important to pay attention to these differences. I think there's one other difference is the fact that online foreclosure auction, the condition always involves some kind of not so pleasant situation, like for example a bad tenant, right? You can still deal with that with motivated seller, but at least you know for a fact that this property was being taken care of by somebody, right? And again, you can inspect it and things like that. But on the flip side of things, with foreclosure auction, the house is already a fact that they're going to be selling this house at a discount. And if you have your $1,000, you can take a house like that. You can even do what people refer to as wholesale, right? Meaning you wholesale it, not wholesaling directly, but you put it under contract. You actually buy it, right? If you have the kind of money to play around like that, you buy it, but you list it right away without doing too much work, and then you sell it for a profit. But you're basically holding your money hostage, okay? And you have to have enough to be able to mess around at that level. So those are three different reasons I said right there. So if you have a lot of money to play around, online foreclosure auction is not a bad place, but I would definitely say make sure you have some level of experience before you're betting on property that you wouldn't see until you actually engage or put some significant amount of skin in the game, right? With dealing directly with motivated seller, you're prospecting for the most part. The last I will say here is that motivated seller sources involves you spending money on marketing. You have to set up marketing campaigns. But with online foreclosure auction, they are right there listed on the website, so you can literally bid right there from the website. I would say that it's a good game to play if you have source of funding where you can lock up properties under contract, and then if you have some experience, it's a good game to play. But definitely you will have to keep paying attention to the websites in terms of when good deals comes on, and you want to subscribe and make sure that you're getting those notifications. But I think they're both good for two different reasons. If you're getting started in real estate, the best way to get started is straight wholesaling deals, right, by marketing straight to motivated seller, distressed homeowners. I would say that that's the best way to do that, because you have a lot more flexibility dealing with that. All right.